Hello everyone, what a lovely machine I'm introducing you to here. You've know, seen a lot of machines around in the time, over the years. This one's from the early 60s, I think around 1963, Aristocrat Kingsway Gold Star. This particular one is one of two machines I got that came from Sweden apparently, or Norway, Sweden. They were on the foreign coins, but it just happens that the coins, the coins that they used were the same size as the British coins. This particular one uses the new 10 pence, but it was on another type of coin, which I've got two here of. Can you see them? That's the back and the full head's upside down. Hang on. That's the same coin, but one showing the back, one showing the front. So that's what it was on, but they just so happen to be exactly the same size as our new 10 pence. So this is quite happy to use the new 10p. Now it's a casino machine because it's got this huge jackpot. Now I haven't counted up how much it is, but it's a good sum. I would say it's between £3 and £5, something like that. By the time you've got what's in the pay slides as well, because when the jackpot actually works off the pay slides, but it's the last pay slide that goes at the top, which releases the jackpot. Now, I've done a video, well, I've done a few videos on how I've gradually restored this, got it working properly and what have you, and what I've had to do. And I hope it's helpful to anybody that's thinking of getting one of these machines or has got one that they're having a few problems with, because it might help to explain a few of the issues that you can get. But if there's anything you're not sure of, you can always leave me a message and what have you in the comments and say, I'm having such and such a problem with my machine, what do you think it might be? And if with a series of photographs or videos and what have you, I might be able to help you out. Anyway, I've worked on these since I was what would I have been? I've been in my late teens, I think it was, when I was working on these machines years ago. Mid to late teens I was. And I worked on all sorts of electronics, and video games later on, so a bit of a jack of all trades with that sort of thing. But I did learn first on these old mechanical machines. So the chrome work, beautiful on this. There's minor damage, it's not without damage over the years. I don't know whether you can see on this corner here, a bit of damage there. I've done a crack that was in the plastic at the bottom. I've done my best with it, but it's sealed now. But that was caused by, you'll see in one of the videos that the jackpot unit wasn't actually, I don't know whether it was added afterwards or it was fitted incorrectly, but there was a few issues and whatever, and the jackpot unit in the front there was actually hitting the plastic, and that's probably what cracked it in the first place. So, but that's all sorted. I've done everything. The only thing I've got to do on these two machines that I've got, this is one of them obviously, is the lock mechanism, because the lock mechanism's been taken out of this and it's left in a right mess, and somebody's made a bit of a bodge of some aluminium pieces and whatever. But this works on where you turn the lock here and it moves a latch up and down, a bar up and down with some latches on to lock the door. Well, that's non-existent at the minute because it was all in pieces, and the other one has a different lock system altogether, so I've got to make a completely new system for that. But anyway, I hope you like these videos and I hope they're helpful to somebody, and in a lot of cases they should bring back some memories for anybody who remembers these lovely machines. Anyway, enjoy, and I'll see you on the next video, hopefully in the not too far distance. Okie doke, cheers for now, bye. Well everyone, I've started work on the next project and it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but nothing major. This part, this inside is absolutely beautiful. There's no signs of corrosion or anything. Like, the reels are pretty good on it. It was from Sweden or Norway, somewhere like that, but it was on foreign currency. But the coins that it came with are these, which are, it says 1G on it or something like that. It's from the Netherlands or something. But it just so happens I've found that the new 10 pence coin is exactly the same size, and it actually fits in exactly the same. There's no issues, same thickness, same diameter. Look at that, isn't that amazing? So that's brilliant, that's great news anyway, because that means I haven't got to do any modifying to the pay slides or the tubed or anything. Other than that, the timing was a little bit out on it, because if you've ever played these machines, you'll hear them go. You'll start the reel mechanism working. There's a fan in the back there which acts as a governor. You can see that orange fan, and that basically governs how quickly everything goes and whatever. But there's a little tiny adjustment screw there. You can see it right in the middle of the picture there, and there's a nut at the back. I don't know whether you can see it. Let's have a look. Where is it? There's a nut at the back here. Where are we? Come on, focus. Where I'm pointing, you can see there's a bolt that goes through there, and that enables you, if you loosen it off, to adjust this lever at the back here. And what that does is it makes it so that when you start the mechanism going, you get the first reel, the second reel, the third reel, then you'll hear a click as the release mechanism for these levers down here, if you're on a win, obviously, operated by these hammers. If you get a win, they go through the hole, the hammer goes through the hole and knocks the relevant little levers out the way here, and then you'll hear the next click, bang or whatever, and that'll be the actual pace slides being released. So if any of those have moved out the way, corresponding to these pace slides, they will release the number of coins that it's set to release for whichever win it is. Absolutely ingenious how these things work, and it's all on adjustment, it's all on timing. And the way it was finishing very quickly. When I first got the other one, the last reel was stopping so quickly after the second one, and you could hear it juddering as it wasn't actually stopping properly. That was all down to timing again. So, and that was another thing that was needed adjusting, so I've sorted that. Now the only other thing that's a problem on here, as you can see, I've took the pay tube out and a few bits and pieces, and the main jackpot part of the machinery which is there, because it's been bodged a little bit, and somebody had used a piece of aluminium angle here which goes up here, there it goes, and then there's a bar goes through the hole, which it's like you saw on the other one, I showed you on the other one. It's basically the hinge for this mechanism here, which you can see on the end, on the side there. You can see the holes where that one and that one, where the pin goes through, and it basically hinges on that. Now the pin has obviously been made up and it's the wrong size, and it was absolutely jammed into this little hole at the bottom, and I had to get a punch and knock it out from the bottom. Thankfully the hole goes right through, but as you can see, that's tight, it ain't going nowhere. Now I thought, well, I don't want it like that. I thought, well, I can turn it down in the lathe so that the end goes in all right. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go the whole hog, and I'm going to replace this piece of angle because it was the wrong way anyway. When that's in there like that, it's sticking up instead of it should be down, and sticking up is limiting how far down the actual jackpot unit can go down. So that's another thing that's a bit of a mess. And luckily, as luck would have it, I have got, in amongst all my stored stuff, I've got from an engineering firm that I get bits and pieces from, a nice piece of bar, and it just happens to be the exact size of the original pin, with no turning in the lathe or nothing. If you look, it'll go into the hole, and I don't know whether you can see, but that's actually going up and down in there. It's tight, but it is moving up and down. I can actually shove that up and down. Won't be needing anything to bash that out. So I am going to take the end down just a little bit on the lathe, just to point it off and make it so it slides in and out a lot easier, and then make the new pin for it, the new hinge pin, and that's going to make a lovely job of that. And so I've got to cut it to the same length, but luckily enough, as luck would have it, the other machine that I got the other day that was on has got exactly the same mechanism inside, so I've got exact replicas to actually, I'm going to take that to pieces. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? I'm going to take that apart, and I'm going to remanufacture some new pieces for this to look as original as possible. And hopefully, and amongst all those screws that I got a few weeks ago, I should be able to replace all the screws with the original ones, the authentic ones, should I say. But other than that, this is absolutely beautiful, and it's going to look fantastic when it's finished. And as I say, I've done the timing. I can show you, because you don't need to have the tube or anything in there when you're doing it. So if I push this down, hang on, I'm going to have to use my hand, push that down, And then, right, if you watch, you'll see, and it's all governed in the back there, you'll see everything move. There we go. And there we go, that's the click, 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 all in the right place. The problem is if you don't get the timing right, if these bars don't release before the pace slides are released, the pace slides are jammed up against the bars, and the chances are they might not actually come out. And it'll cause an awful lot of wear over time as well, so it wouldn't do them any good if it did still pay out. So, as I say, the timing is critical on these, but what a lovely, lovely machine. I mean, you wouldn't be able to guess how old the machine is. I mean, I've no idea. I think it must be 40, 50, 60 years old. But the mechanism, it's all cast iron, all these metal parts, a lot of them's hardened steel where they need to be. So there's absolutely nothing really. They were really designed to last years of punishment and what have you. And they certainly are standing the test of time. But over time, people do try to do things with them, and I think that's the only thing really that you need to correct. You know, when you eventually get hold of one, if you're lucky, it won't be a problem. You see, there's a springs outer line there that needs to go back down and inside, and there's a bolt missing off there. I've only just noticed that, so I'm going to have to do that. So there's a bolt missing here, as you can see, and it's one of those bolts that doesn't actually tighten right up and lock these pieces together. This lever, when it stops the reel, it can't just go in bang and that's it. It's got a little bit of give due to this spring here, and that obviously should move up and be able to move, and it should be bolted, but in such a way that the bolt doesn't actually tighten, you know, to the point where it locks that together. And that spring is like a damper, so that it doesn't go bang, and it's obviously prolong the life of these nylon cogs. Anyway, that's another little job I've just found. Amazing, isn't it? I didn't know that before the video. So anyway, I hope you're enjoying this, and I'll keep you informed on how it goes, and I shall take some pictures along the way and whatever, and post later on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers for now. Well, I've made a bit of progress. I've made a new pin out of that nice piece of metal that I got. I'll tell you something, I don't know what it is, but it's really hard stuff. I had to use the angle grinder with a cutting disc in it to cut the blooming stuff. I couldn't do it with the hacksaw, I wouldn't touch it. Amazing stuff. Anyway, I've made a new pin, as you can see. That goes in nicely all the way to the bottom. And if you look, there's a nice new piece just here. That's the new piece I've made. It replaces this piece here, which when you put it in the way round it was designed to go, it's sticking upwards instead of downwards. You can see that one goes downwards like that. This one went upwards and was holding the actual jackpot unit too high. So, and this is the piece that I took off the other machine that I've based it on. I made an exact copy of that, and it seems to have done the trick. As you can see, it's in there now. Look, nice, holding everything steady. This piece here eventually wants replacing, but I think what I'm going to have to do there is I might, seeing as they've bolted it, I'll just bolt it like they've done there, but I think I might need to make a new piece for there. But anyway, the reason that it's had to be screwed on at the bottom here, come in focus, that's it. The reason it had to be screwed in at the bottom here was because it was so high up. This piece here wasn't going like that, it was actually above this part, so it wouldn't actually lock into place. Now it's in the right place. Look, if you watch, I have to lift it up a bit, shove it across, drops down into the hole, and then it's fixed in place, won't move. Look, doesn't need to be screwed at the bottom. Isn't that lovely? So it's coming along very nicely, quite pleased with that. And I don't know, I'll have to find out what that steel is, because it's really strong stuff. It must be some kind of carbon in it or something, because it's absolutely rock solid. And as I say, the hacksaw wouldn't touch it. The angle grinder with a cutting disc went through without any trouble though, so that's thankfully for that. Anyway, that's an update, and I'll keep you informed on how it all goes. I think the only thing I've still got to do is this bolt on here, but I'm going to see if I can find another one now. But I tell you something, if you're into this sort of game, you'll know how rare and how hard it is to get hold of pieces for these things. And if you see what looks like scrap to somebody, like one of these that's got pieces missing off it or anything like that that's been chucked out, it's worth its weight in gold in spares, I tell you, because where do you get hold of these parts now? You just get nowhere on Google, like, you know, or it'll be a specialist thing. In some cases, like, I can actually make them, so it's not too bad. But, you know, there are some things on here that you like to keep as original as possible, but finding the parts is just impossible, like, you know. Anyway, I hope that's shown you what is possible if you put your mind to it and whatever, and use a bit of engineering skill, if you can call it that. But anyway, I'm very pleased with that. I hope you enjoy that video, and I'll keep you informed on how it goes. Cheers for now. Bye. Well, a few more discoveries, if you're not bored already. I've managed to do the nut. Luckily, I've got a spare parts machine, and I don't know what I'd do without it, because there's a spacer in between there and everything. So now this still works. Look, if I press down on it as though the reel's landing on it, you see the spring moving? Oh, it's quite strong. It takes quite a bit of hammer, but that's working. So that's done. Everything else is fine. We've got the lovely new piece on there, and oh, it's coming together nicely. Now, the only other thing I found was, now I've got the jackpot thing in the right place, when you come to put it in the machine, the front glass has got cracked, and I thought to myself, how on earth that got cracked? If you look, you can see there, look at that nasty crack. It's plastic as well, so I can actually do something about that, but it's not really worried about it. But when the mechanism's in here, it's too far forward, and the jackpot thing is hitting that plastic. It's pretty similar to what the other one was doing, but the other one, it was just that it was loose and it was hitting the graphics and whatever and making a right mess. So I thought, well, how on earth, why is that not? I need to get the mech in further. But the hole where you fasten it in, once the mech's in, it was too far forward, so your mech was being held forward, which hence it was hitting the front of the thing. But then I discovered that you can actually move this base. I've loosened it off now, so look, you can move this and it all moves, so I can actually move the position of this. So I'm going to put the mech back in, and then I can line it all up, and hopefully the whole mechanism will go far enough in. There's some screws at the back there that stop it going in too far up. They may need a little bit of adjustment, but I'm going to have to do a little bit of trial and error. But my goodness me, the thought of everything with these machines is absolutely brilliant. But if somebody's done a conversion or whatever they've done to it, like they've, you know, I was a bit suspicious when I see that it's got 3 bars on the actual machine saying that 3 bars wins a prize. But yeah, it's got Aristocrats on the actual reels. So this mech may not actually belong to this actual casing, but however long ago that was done, I don't know. Whether it was, you know, somebody's just done it, you know, converted it themselves, or what they've done. But anyway, I'm gradually putting it all right, so that's good. But as I say, I'm going to have to move this around, right? And then in the next video, hopefully, everything will be right, and I'll be able to show you a few games on it and impress you with the amazement of this machine. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video. Cheers for now. Well, everyone, it seems to be coming to plan. I've got it all back together. I've adjusted the bottom plate. It's even managed to get that cash jackpot what have you thing in more central, which is looking really nice. And it's solved a lot of problems. The door shuts properly now without actually hitting the plastic. It's a shame they've had to crack that when they did it. If only they'd have known. But anyway, it's all up and running properly now. I've got a magnet holding the door shut, because until I get the locks done, it's going to be difficult to you know, hold the door shut, because it doesn't want to stay shut, you see. But this is all locked into place now, the jackpot thing. Piece of plastic's missing from there, which covers the refill part up there, so that I'm going to have to make one of those. But luckily the other one's exactly the same, so I've got a pattern, no problem. But it's got a screw in now. It screws in the right place, holds everything together. Nothing moves now, look, absolutely solid. And it's all working absolutely beautifully. So should we have a few goes on it and stop rabbiting on? So as I shut that now, magnet holds it, lovely. So we're going to have a few goes now and see if we can get any decent wins. See, it's doing all the right things with the timing and everything now. You're getting all the clicks in the right places. All we need is a nice wheel. If anybody hasn't noticed, it still says the old foreign coin, insert the foreign coin on there, whatever that is. I'm going to make a nice new one of those that says insert 10 new pence. Don't look as that pays out very often. Ooh. An absolute miracle to get the jackpot, but that's never happened, is it? Such a distinctive sound to these machines. I know some of you wish there was an arcade where they still had some of these in now, like, because a lot of these new machines just don't interest me at all. I love these old ones. Is it ever going to pay out? Yay, spoke too soon. Look at that. That should be 5 pence. Now, or 5 coins rather, but there's 4 there. But I know, because I haven't cleaned it yet, but there's a slider where they go down from the payout tube, and they stick on that. So you'll probably find the next win will come out with 1 extra. But once I've cleaned that, it'll be okay. Do love these. Who doesn't love a good old bandit? There we go, look at that. Look at that. Now that should be 5 coins. Now there's actually 6 coins there, as you can see. Can you see? Yep, 6 coins. That's because the one that was stuck in the thing is has come out now. But how lovely is that machine? I think it's absolutely beautiful. I love these machines. And anyone who thinks, you know, that I'm buying them to do up and sell to make money and what have you, I've never sold one yet. And to be honest, I can't imagine ever selling one. I just love them too much. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll keep you going. The only things left to do is basically the locking mechanism for it, which I've got to make a new piece for that. But I should be able to sort that out, no problem. And everything else I think is done now, other than changing that to 10 new pence. But how lovely. What a lovely machine. Anyway, I'll see you on the next video soon. Cheers for now. Bye.